Are you ready for a brand new era of astrology? Me too, honey. This is AstroloTea with me, Aliza Kelly, a piping hot, brand new podcast where I bring you 2 episodes every single week. I'll always have your weekly brew on Monday for horoscopes and tarot and journal prompts and explanations as to what the hell is going on in the sky. And then every single Wednesday, we're going to have a tea party. And this is where we are going to steep deep on birth charts and timing and even scandals and controversies so you can find out what all of this magic, thisness means for you. Are you ready? I absolutely am. So let's go. Hello, and welcome to AstroloTea with Aliza Kelly. I'm your host and your spiritual friend, Aliza Kelly, and I'm so happy you're here. This is your Monday weekly brew, served hot and fresh just for you. The theme of the week is time to fight. Hell yes. And the top 3 things to know are, number 1, Mars and Uranus, 2 very aggro planets, are about to smooch, which means you are going to feel ready to take action on something in your life. Number 2, Mars then moves into Aries, its home sign, its favorite place to be, and this is the energy we need to get going. And finally, number 3, with Mars moving onto the 0-degree Aries point, the world axis, the place where Neptune just was and Saturn was, where Saturn and Neptune met, then the sun was there for spring equinox. This is big energy. Expect something major to happen this week. Welcome to our very first episode of AstroloTea. I truly cannot even begin to tell you how excited I am to kick off this new show in general, but also to kick it off in a week where the energy is so vibrant and palpable and dynamic. We love to see it. AstroloTea is an independent podcast. It's produced and written and hosted by me. You know, they say it takes a village, and what we're going to say here is it takes a community. It takes a community to bring something to life, and your support, especially in these earliest days, is so critical. So share your favorite clips on social, tell your friends, and then be sure to follow this show wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you again for joining me here. I know you're going to love the show. I cannot wait to show you what I have been working on for so many weeks now. Okay, your weekly brew is coming up. Stay tuned. We will be right back. Welcome, my beautiful community, to AstroloTea and your first ever Monday weekly brew. It's me, Aliza Kelly, your host and spiritual friend. And holy shit, my friends. Oh my God, we're here. We made it. I am so excited about this show to bring this to life. AstroloTea has really been a long time coming. If you haven't yet heard the lore of the name, AstroloTea as a title came to me in some sort of a fugue state in like 2019 or 2020. It's been a long time that this has been circling in my psyche. I remember like doodling designs of it and coming up with the logo 6 years ago and trying to think of how to bring it into my practice. And if you've been with me for long enough, you know that I've already tried to sneak it in. I've had many iterations of working with the AstroloTea name. I've used it in segments before. I've used it in the Constellation Club, which is our virtual community. It is like the X that will not fucking quit. And maybe that's the T. I do feel like ideas can almost be alive sometimes. Like certain ideas are living, breathing organisms, like they become personified to me. And that is absolutely how AstroloTea has felt over these many years, as a title, as an idea, as like an energy that has been in my life. So when I found out that my previous podcast was ending, I was like, okay, well, obviously we're going to keep it going. And it seemed very clear that we should take the whole thing and turn it into AstroloTea. and that we could create an entire magical world around it. And my friends, it's like so tank. Tank means there are no coincidences, that the show is starting on such an energetic week. The show is beginning when Mars is moving into Aries. It has to hit that world access point, 0 degrees Aries, in order for it to move into Aries. And that point, 0 degree Aries, has been activated already throughout 2026 a handful of times, already in such massive and significant ways. But Mars, the planet that is literally the planet of action and motivation, and I say anything we thrust into, is literally in its home base in Aries. So stepping onto that 0 degree point in Aries for Mars really means that there is no turning back. It's time to go. It's time to flow. It's time to fight for what we believe in. And this is tank and it's tea because I believe in what we're doing. I believe in this podcast. I believe in this show. I believe in the community that we are building. I believe in the future of this podcast and this show and this community. And we are going to do it like to hell with everything else, right? I think that I know that astrology can change the world. And I am really, really excited to create this very special brew with you that is like one part like sassy tea party, and then the other part really honestly earnest and powerful and accurate and meaningful and life-changing. And that's what I'm endeavoring to do here. So let's do it. Let's get into our weekly brew. The theme of the week is time to fight. Now, when I say fight, I am not talking about conflict for the sake of conflict. I'm not talking about getting drunk at the bar and like squaring off, ready to rumble. Though, if we're being honest, that is very Mars and Aries coded also. But that is not what I am referring to. Honey, the fight that I want us to embody and to activate this week is the energy of courage, the energy of confidence, the energy of knowing that you deserve to live in alignment with your soul and that is worth fighting for. Astrology is all about cycles of momentum and reflection, and this week we are stepping directly into one of those momentum cycles, a pushing phase, if you will. If you please, s'il vous plaît. Now, the first thing you need to know is that Mars and Uranus are connecting this week. On Wednesday, April 8th, Mars at 29 degrees of Pisces forms a lovely connection. It's an aspect known as a sextile. We're going to come back to that in a second. To Uranus, which is also at 29 degrees in the sign of Taurus. A sextile is a very delightful aspect. I think it's my favorite aspect, if I'm being honest. Sextiles are like seeing somebody at a party and being like, oh my God, I love your outfit. And they're like, I love your outfit. And then you two become fast friends, start gossiping, and you start like teeing, and you just have all of this fun together. So a sextile is when two planets come together and they want to exchange information. So with Mars and Uranus coming together, even though they're bringing together these very intense planets, there is something very positive and beneficial about the energy of how Mars, which represents action and willpower, is going to align with Uranus, which represents disruption and innovation and breakthroughs. So when they come together, there is going to be a new path that opens that may not have been obvious before. I am recording this in full transparency on March 9th. So obviously you, listener, my dear community, know what is happening in the world right now. But I can tell you that it was during a Mars-Uranus square, which is a much tougher aspect, which was when the US and Israel started to bomb Iran. And again, that was a square. That's a very, very, very tough 90-degree aspect. And a sextile does not have that same hard edge to it. So while there is no doubt a lot of assertion here, my hope is that Mars and Uranus coming together this week doesn't show up as stupid, power-hungry men pressing devastating buttons to compensate for their erectile dysfunction. T. I also want to add that this is happening at 29 degrees. And that is so notable. In astrology, this degree is referred to as the anaretic degree, and it's literally associated with fate and destiny and karma and change. It is the last place a planet can be before moving into a new zodiac sign, so it carries a sense of urgency and culmination to it. Uranus has been in Taurus since 2018, and later this month, it's changing signs. It's moving into Gemini, which is a huge deal, truly. Uranus is the planet of innovation and revolution, so whatever sign it's in reveals where, on both a personal and collective level, we are going to experience some sort of a rebellion. Uranus has an 84-year orbit, so every 84 years, it goes into Gemini. And every 84 years, I don't want to freak you out, but every 84 years, there has been a notable war that the United States has been involved in. World War II, the Civil War, the Revolutionary War. Yes, Uranus was in Gemini for literally all of those. And maybe it's because the United States was born with Uranus in Gemini in its birth chart. So every time Uranus moves into Gemini, it's the United States' Uranus return. So yes, the United States is having a Uranus return this year. And oh my God, yes, it also happens to be the United States' 250th birthday this year. Quick, Google for me, how many years empire collapse? And just tell me what it says. T. Back to this week. On Thursday, April 9th, Mars is leaving Pisces and entering Aries, which is the first sign of the zodiac. And this is an incredibly important shift because Mars is in its home base in the sign of Aries. And when a planet moves into the sign it rules, its energy expresses itself with much more confidence and clarity. Mars in Aries is decisive and bold and direct. It really is that bitch. It does not hesitate. It does not second guess itself, maybe to a fault. But either way, it's a diva. It moves forward with instinct and determination. And I have to say, there are some placements that I'm very, very jealous of. And this, when I see this in a birth chart, this is one of them. I am a Virgo Mars, and it is such a different energy than an Aries Mars. And like, I truly, when I'm with an Aries Mars, I'm like, give me that act now, think later vibe. Because it's just, it's so like, I'm so attracted to it. It is so inspiring to me. For all of us, this transition marks a notable change in the collective atmosphere. If the past few weeks have felt weird, slow to develop, Mars moving into Aries is going to pick things up. We're going to see the pace start to accelerate. Decisions are going to be made more quickly. Conversations are going to become a little more aggressive, a little more straightforward, something between those, right? And there's going to be a desire to initiate new things. Aries energy represents the beginning of the zodiac cycle, the moment of ignition when something entirely new begins to take shape. And Mars is going to really, really take this momentum and like bring it to us in this palpable way. There's going to be something where we actually feel like, oh, there was a before and after to this week. So when Mars moves into Aries, it's not just moving into a new sign, it's also hitting that 0 degree Aries point that we call the world axis. 0 degrees of the cardinal signs, Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn, are associated with the turning points of the year. Spring equinox, summer solstice, autumn equinox, winter solstice. And all of these equinoxes and solstices of the cardinal signs carry with it the essence of manifestation. So when planets activate these degrees, events very quickly move from potential into expression. It's how things happen. This particular degree has been very active recently. Several major planetary movements have passed through here, including Neptune's entrance into Aries late January, Saturn's arrival there a few weeks later in February, then Saturn and Neptune forming that incredibly rare conjunction once every 36 years at 0 degrees Aries. That was on February 20th. The sun also crossed into 0 degrees Aries when its spring equinox began, the beginning of the new zodiacal year. So when Mars arrives at the same point, it activates all of that, basically the whole journey we've been on so far this year, and it takes this story that we have been building on, this profound paradigm shift that all the astrologers have been talking about, and it says, okay, now feel it in your body and bring it to life. So this week's astrology really suggests a turning point where clarity and courage and momentum are all converging. They're all going to smooch. Mwah. And this is why the theme of the week is time to fight. Fight for what you believe in. Fight for your right. Fight for your right to party. Fight for the opportunities and expressions of self that are aligned with your soul, baby. So let's fucking go. That is the tea that I am here for. And of course, I have your journal prompt for the week ahead. What in my life should I be fighting for? And what will it take for me to activate that courage right now? Okay, so every week, and part of our weekly brew is a tarot card for the week ahead. And I'm so excited to see. We're also going to keep track of these cards so that we can see when things come up. Some tarot readers say when they're being stalked by a card. I hate that. Ugh, nothing stalks us unless you wanted to. But no, we're going to say when we're being followed by a card, but that also sounds kind of frightening. When we are being when a card is communicating with us, right? And that's possible. We're definitely gonna have repeat cards, but not this week. Not this week, because this is our very, very first pull. So we're going to see what the first pull of AstroloTea is, what we're pulling for this amazing Martian energy that we are navigating this week. Mars connecting with Uranus, Mars moving into Aries. Okay. Give us something good, baby. Here we go. Fuck yeah. It's Ace of Swords, baby. Ace of Swords. Hell yes. 0 degrees. That's what I'm talking about. Why am I saying that? What do I even mean when I am saying that? So aces in tarot are the beginning raw essence of the suit. And the suits refer to the energy. The sword suit is most often associated with the air signs. I should say it is associated with the air signs. It's associated with Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, 0 degrees. Why 0 degrees? Because 0 degrees, which is what we're talking about with Mars moving into Aries, is also that same energy of raw expression, right? It's 0 degrees of any sign is just like the true raw essence of what that sign is. So Mars at 0 degrees of Aries is just like the energy of going, the energy of doing the damn thing. Ace energy in tarot is similar. I mean, I very much closely align 0 degrees and aces in tarot. So the fact that we have Mars moving into Aries, which is ace energy, and then it's Ace of Swords, this is about the energy of new ideas. This is about the energy of connecting with your thoughts, your cognition, maybe a new way of looking at something, a new way of thinking about something. And I know with Mars in Aries, we're doing instead of thinking, but this is about taking action on the things that you're thinking about. So this is partnering the energy of having an idea and then just doing something about your idea, not overthinking it, just doing the damn thing. Ace of Swords as the first card for AstroloTea is like so tank. That means there are no coincidences. It's so tea. And I am just so happy that we pulled this card. And I'm going to put it here in our little teacup because we're drinking this brew. And I love her. Coming up, I am pouring horoscopes for every single zodiac sign. You better believe it. Stay tuned for your personalized horoscope after this quick break. Welcome back. It's time for this week's personalized horoscopes. And as always, I want to remind you of two things. Number one, be sure to listen for both your sun and your rising sign. And if you want to, listen for your moon too, because all of these placements are going to help tell a more complete story about where this week's themes are showing up for you. And number two, in astrology, Aries is the first sign, Pisces is the last. So every week, I'm going to start your personalized horoscopes with Aries and end with Pisces. To find your sign easily, check out the timestamps. Super, super easy. Hello, Aries. Okay, we see you. Mars is entering your sign this week, igniting personal momentum in a very major way. This is your planetary ruler, and it's coming into your sign, which means that the engine that powers your confidence, your drive, your determination, your vitality, your ego, your libido, it's all roaring back to life. Vroom fucking vroom. It's a big thing, okay? The past few weeks have no doubt felt murky, confusing, slow, annoying, weird. You tell me. But now this week, there is going to be a distinctive shift, and things that have been building up, stressing you out, are going to start to dissipate. You are going to begin to feel sharper and faster and much more decisive. And this is the Aries that we have been missing. Where have you been? Oh, in the weird Pisces waters. Oh, thank God you're back. The fight this week is for your autonomy, Aries, fighting for your right to move forward on your own terms, especially if someone else's hesitation or doubt has slowed you down. Ew. This could involve advocating for yourself professionally, or taking on a leadership role in a project, or setting boundaries with someone who has been expecting you to play smaller than you truly are. Mars in your sign is going to bring courage, but it's also going to bring visibility. People notice what you're doing right now, which means that your actions are going to set the tone for what comes next. Choose to move. Choose to not hesitate. Whether you're launching an idea or getting going on a new goal, or just simply deciding that you are done waiting for permission, Mars moving into Aries is a reminder that progress begins when you take the first step. Your job this week is to trust your instincts and move forward with conviction. That's it. That's it. So get going right now, Aries. Move! Move, baby, move! Hi, Taurus. This week, Mars is entering Aries, activating a deeply, deeply internal part of your chart, which means that the battle you are fighting this week is going to be largely invisible to others. Mars in Aries encourages you to confront emotional patterns and hidden frustrations and lingering attachments that have been draining your energy for way too long, Taurus. Something needs to surface so that you can acknowledge what's been bothering you, like actually, deeply, positively bothering you. The fight now is for your peace. And that means stepping back from anyone who has been consistently disrupting it. This also means setting boundaries with people who demand too much of your time, or finally addressing a personal habit that leaves you feeling depleted every single time you fucking do it. Mars in this part of the sky works like a clearing force, helping you release what no longer belongs in your life. You may feel motivated to spend some time alone. You may feel inspired to reflect on what truly restores your sense of strength. This is also a powerful week for healing work, for therapy, for meditation, for creative practices that allow you to explore your authenticity and your emotions in a very honest way. By confronting what has been lingering in the background of your psyche, you free yourself from these burdens that have followed you longer than they should be following you. You deserve to always feel safe and steady, Taurus. And that is something worth fighting for. Hi, Gemini. Mars is entering Aries this week, and that brings a powerful energy to your social world. And that's such a sleigh, considering that one of Gemini's animal symbols is a butterfly. And yes, they're animals. And that is because you are naturally the social butterfly of the zodiac T. This week, the fight is for your future and for the communities that you want to be part of. Mars in Aries activates the area of your chart associated with friendships and networks and long-term dreams, encouraging you to pursue connections that inspire momentum rather than complacency. You may feel compelled to reach out to new collaborators, or maybe, slide into someone's DMs, or join forces with people who share your ambition. A conversation or an introduction could spark an opportunity that really expands your horizons in an exciting and really delightful kind of way. At the same time, keep in mind, Gemini, that Mars has very little patience for superficial connections. So relationships that feel stagnant or that feel overly transactional may also fade into the background right now. Fighting for your future means surrounding yourself with individuals who challenge you to grow, to think bigger. You may also feel drawn towards causes or big collective projects that allow you to really contribute your voice and your talents in a meaningful way. Mars in Aries thrives on initiative, so taking the first step, whatever it is, sending the message, sharing the idea, posting the damn thing, attending the event, all of that can help create the energy of momentum that carries you much further than you expected to go. So spread those little butterfly wings and get out there, Gemini. Beautiful. Hello, Cancer. Mars is moving into Aries, and that shines a powerful spotlight on your career and your public reputation. This week, your fight is going to center around your ambition and your recognition. Mars is going to be energizing the area of your chart connected to leadership and authority and long-term achievement, which means you may feel an urgent desire to step forward professionally in a very big way. Meanwhile, there's going to be the opportunities to back it up. There's going to be opportunities presented that are going to demand your boldness, your confidence, especially if you have been waiting for the right moment to demonstrate your capabilities. Yes, Cancer, it's happening this week. Fighting for yourself now means claiming space where your talents deserve to be seen. You might advocate for a promotion. You might pitch an idea that really positions you as a leader. Or you may take initiative on a project that puts your skills on full display. Yes, Cancer, you deserve to be in the spotlight. You better believe that important people will also be paying very close attention to you right now. So how you handle responsibility during this period is very significant, and you're going to need to be on your best behavior. That's okay. Just show them how amazing you are, Cancer. Leave nothing on the table. No crumbs. You better be cooking. The effort you invest right now is going to translate into tangible progress in your career. And Cancer, we love this for you. Hello, Leo. Mars is entering Aries, a like-minded fire sign. And for you, this is going to fuel your desire for expansion and adventure. Leo, we love to see it. The fight this week is for your growth and for your perspective. Mars is going to energize the part of your chart associated with exploration, education, sharing your ideas with the world, finding your fucking soapbox. You may feel a surge of motivation to pursue new experiences that really broaden your horizons, whether that's travel or studying a new subject or expressing yourself through writing or speaking or podcasting, or literally just like recognizing that life shouldn't be boring, right? Your life is not supposed to be boring, Leo. You weren't made for that. You were meant for spice, for pizzazz, for the old razzle dazzle. So, Leo, why don't you take a few risks? Why don't you try something new? This transit is going to push you beyond familiar boundaries and encourage you to embrace new opportunities that challenge your worldview. Fighting for yourself now means refusing to limit your potential because something feels, intimidating or unfamiliar. That's okay. Lean into the discovery and the excitement of that. Conversations with people from different backgrounds may even inspire you to try something that you wouldn't have been able to identify on your own. Mars in Aries is going to be thriving when you follow your curiosity and act on the desire to expand your life in meaningful, exciting, unabashed ways. So, Leo, hit the casino, roll the dice. This week, you have my permission to take a few risks. But be smart, Leo. Don't make me regret saying that, okay? Not on the first week of the new podcast, at least. Hi, Virgo. Mars is moving into Aries this week, and that intensifies the emotional and financial dynamics in your life. The fight for you, Virgo, this week is centered around power and trust and shared resources. Mars is going to be activating the part of your chart associated with deep transformation, which means situations involving money or other people's money or intimacy or the boundaries, how much you share, how much you hold back. All of that is going to demand your attention. If an arrangement has felt unequal, uncomfortable, you are going to find yourself ready to address it directly. Finally, Virgo, because if we're being honest, it's been a long time coming. This could involve renegotiating financial agreements or discussing sensitive emotional topics with your partner or asserting your needs in a relationship where you have taken on way too much responsibility. Mars in Aries is going to push you to reclaim control in situations where you have really lost the fucking plot. While the conversations are going to be intense, because how could they not be, they are also going to create opportunities for deeper honesty and stronger foundations. Fighting for yourself this week means recognizing your own value and refusing to settle for circumstances that undermine your sense of security or respect. Frankly, Virgo, I think it's a sleigh. You got this. Hello, Libra. Mars is entering Aries this week, which is a very big deal for you, since Aries is your opposite sign. And for you, Libra, this activates your relationship sector, bringing energy and intensity to your closest partnerships. Oh my. The fight for you this week is for balance and respect. Mars stirs strong and undeniable emotions when it moves through this area of your chart because it highlights dynamics between you and others that require some serious conversation. If the relationships, the contracts, the arrangements in your life have felt stagnant or uneven, tension is going to reach a breaking point where it needs to be addressed openly. Libra, stop asking other people how they feel, and start asking yourself how you feel. And make sure that you are being heard when you express those feelings, aka your needs, aka your very reasonable requests, honey. Fighting right now is fighting for love, which also means advocating for fairness while also acknowledging your own agency. Does that sound complicated? It's not. This energy is also going to bring exciting developments in partnerships that thrive on collaboration and shared goals. Mars is going to encourage you to engage directly with the people who matter the most in your life. And this is your chance to prove to yourself just how much you bring to these dynamics and to remember that you are not dispensable. You are not disposable. You are not to be fucked with. There's no one like you, Libra. Remember your worth. Hi, Scorpio. Mars, which, by the way, is your traditional planetary ruler. Traditional planetary meaning it was your ruler before the telescope discovered the other planets, and then you got Pluto. But pre-Pluto, you were associated most with Mars, which means you're still very linked to Mars. Anyway, Mars is entering Aries this week. And for you, it's going to be igniting the area of your chart that governs your daily life, your schedule, your routines, your responsibilities, all the ways you spend your precious energy. Don't you dare say it's boring. It's not boring. This week, Scorpio, the fight is for your time. Name a more valuable currency than time. Mars is going to demand that you reclaim it from anything that wastes, drains, fragments your focus, and pulls you away from the things that you really want to do. If your days have been packed with obligations that leave you exhausted and resentful, it's time to do something about it, Scorpio. Mars does not tolerate inefficiency. Mars wants action. Mars wants movement. And Mars wants you to actually push back when you need to push back. So this week, you may find yourself setting boundaries that even you have avoided in the past. Perhaps you say no to a project that someone expected you to take on. Perhaps you reorganize your schedule so that the most important work receives your strongest energy at the time of the day where you feel most alive. The fight isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters to you. Mars in Aries is going to reward your decisive choices and your disciplined effort. The more fiercely you defend your time this week, the more powerful your results will become. Hello, Sagittarius. Mars is entering Aries this week. That is a fellow fire sign. And for you, it lights a wildfire in your chart. Yes, Sag, this is what you have been needing, especially because the spark is activating your creativity and your passion and your pleasure and your self-expression. Sagittarius, the fight this week is for your art, whatever form that art means to you. Whether you are a literal artist or a writer or a performer or simply someone who has been denying themselves the opportunity to have original ideas because you have been so inundated with whatever the hell has been clogging up your brain, Mars wants you to prioritize your own magic. Because baby, that's your soul. I've said it a million times, but your soul speaks through art. It's inherently creative. And that's why we humans need to express ourselves creatively. It's not a nice to have, it's literally essential. So if you have been postponing a creative project or you've been waiting for the perfect conditions or even doubting your talent, ew, no, not you, Sag, not you doubting yourself. This transit is going to finally give you the reminder that you have been waiting for, that you have what it takes. Inspiration is going to arrive with urgency. Your ideas are going to demand to be explored. Something inside of you insists that the work must begin now, not later. And that's Mars in Aries pushing you to pursue the experiences that make your heart race, even if doing so feels a little cringe at first, right? Sometimes we gotta be. Fighting for your art means protecting the time and energy required to create. It means taking risks with your voice and trusting that your passion deserves to exist in the world. When you act on that impulse this week, your creativity becomes a powerful force of momentum that is going to continue to regenerate. Hello, Capricorn. Mars is moving into Aries this week, and for you, this activates your foundation. This week, Mars in Aries means that you need to fight for your home, for your roots, for your deep sense of purpose. Mars in Aries is going to bring an intensity to domestic matters, family dynamics, which means that unresolved tensions or lingering frustrations are finally going to surface. And instead of avoiding those difficult conversations, you're going to need to address them head on, because Mars does not like passive-aggressive behavior. Mars in Aries is allergic to it, in fact. Mars demands honesty, and honesty is a beautiful thing, Capricorn, because it is a catalyst for change. Fighting for your home may take on many different forms, right? Maybe it's going to be confronting that family dynamic that leaves you feeling unsupported. Maybe it's going to be making a bold decision about your living situation, realizing that your environment needs to evolve in order to support your future. Maybe it's channeling that energy into physically transforming your space. It's reorganizing or repairing or renovating or creating a new environment that didn't exist before to reflect who you are becoming. Now, Mars in Aries is very protective, and it's protecting the part of your chart that is asking you to defend the emotional foundation that sustains you. You get me? When your home feels stable and aligned, when you know that you are loved and supported and held, it's much easier for you to do whatever it takes for you to achieve those ridiculously ambitious goals that define the Capricorn spirit. So even if this work feels a little vulnerable, a little raw, a little uncomfortable, Capricorn, I want you to trust the process because it's all part of how you self-actualize and get where you need to go in this lifetime. Hello, Aquarius. Mars is entering Aries this week, and that electrifies your voice. The fight for you this week is the fight for your ideas and your right to say them out loud. Mars is energizing the part of your chart that governs communication. And suddenly, you're just downloading everything sharper and faster, more urgently. You are going to feel compelled to speak up in situations where you previously stayed quiet. Because maybe you were like, oh, forget it. They'll never understand. They'll never get it. Why bother? Well, bother, Aquarius, because people need to know what you see. People need to know what you recognize needs to change. And you're the one who has a plan. Or at the very least, you want to make one. You have an idea or two. And yeah, you got to share them. And real talk, fighting for your ideas this week means trusting that your perspective has a space and a place in the conversation. That's tea. This could show up in a professional conversation. It could show up in a creative collaboration. It can even show up in the way that you just express yourself casually with your friends or colleagues or classmates at a happy hour, whatever. If you have been sitting on a concept that you know deserves to be heard, this is the moment to share it, Aquarius. The people around you may respond strongly, maybe even defensively, but that's okay. That's actually kind of part of the point. Their response is their responsibility. Your responsibility is to express yourself. By advocating for your voice this week, you initiate conversations that could open up totally new paths forward, or at the very least, help you realize who your real friends are and who's been wasting your damn time. That's tea. Hi, Pisces. Mars is entering Aries this week, and it shifts the battlefield to your resources, Pisces. The fight this week is your worth. And I am talking financially and spiritually and personally. Mars is going to be activating the part of your chart connected to your income, to your possessions, to the way that you value your own contributions. If you have been underestimating yourself or accepting less than you deserve, this transit, Mars in Aries, is going to push you to change that dynamic immediately. Mars is going to bring the courage to financial decisions and a willingness to really stand up for yourself and your value. Pisces, this is what you've been needing, like in a very big way. You may feel motivated to pursue some new income opportunities, to negotiate compensation, to take practical steps towards strengthening your financial foundation. This could involve asking for a raise. It could involve launching a side project. It could simply just be becoming more and more strategic about how your skills can generate stability for you. The deeper layer, of course, is recognizing that fundamentally this is about self-respect. Pisces, fighting for your worth means recognizing that your talents, your time, and your energy all have real value. And when you act from that understanding, the choices that you make are going to reflect that strong sense of confidence. Mars is going to reward your bravery. So stand firm in the truth that you deserve to have nice things. You deserve to live a beautiful life. And when you know that, like in your bones, you can begin creating that stability to support your long-term future and not just paying rent next month. And that is all for this episode, our very, very first episode of AstroloTea with Aliza Kelly. What did you think? How do you feel? Let me know in the comments. Rate, review, follow, subscribe, do it all. Tell your friends, post about it on social, spread the word. I'll be back on Wednesday for another episode of AstroloTea. Wednesdays are the tea parties, so you're not going to want to miss that. And then, of course, next Monday, I'll have your weekly brew again. Those are your horoscopes. Make sure you tune in every single Monday and Wednesday for all new episodes of AstroloTea with Aliza Kelly. And don't forget to rate, review, and follow and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Thanks for listening.